Minnesota Vikings have some decisions to make with superstar edge rusher Danielle Hunter this offseason, and they either have to trade Danielle or extend Danielle, and I think that they should keep Danielle. He's 28, going to be 29 in late October. He's proven that he is solid on the edge, but what if Kwesi got on the phone? What if Kwesi made a couple calls and was just like, hey, Washington, commies, what up? Chase Young, potentially available for trade. Now, I love me some 99, but if you got a younger 99 discount just because of his ACL injury, which he's going to be 2 years removed from, and reports coming out of D.C. are saying that the commies are open to listening for trade offers since Chase Young is in a contract year. They declined his fifth-year option, being the number 2 overall pick, as well as injury issues. And it would have been a sizable chunk and a sizable gamble. And the Washington Commanders do have one of the best defensive lines in the game, and we'll see what happens with Chase Young. But make the call, Kwesi. Make it happen. Let's talk about Chase Young today. Background, 24 years young in April, 6'5", 264, former 5-star recruit from Hyattsville, Maryland. Took his talents to the Ohio State University, over Alabama, over Maryland, etc., and was just an absolute stud. Yeah, he was a monster. Unanimous All-American his junior season 2019, 16 and a half sacks, 21 tackles for loss, won all the awards and all the accolades, and was just an absolute smoke show for the Buckeyes that year. Was the number 2 overall pick in the 2020 NFL draft. Really busted out as a rookie. 42 pressures, 7.5 sacks, 87.1 PFF grade, which was 4th best in the league amongst edge rushers. All edge rushers, not just rookies, all edge rushers. 2020 Defensive Rookie of the Year, as well as named to the Pro Bowl. Plus, late in the season, he was named a team captain, which is very intriguing and says a lot about his leadership and how he's seen in the locker room. Also, he was NFC Defensive Player of the Month for December, so not bad for a start to his career. And the future was bright. Unfortunately, tore his ACL in his second season, week 10, and it was a long recovery. And there's some patellar issues in there as well, so it wasn't your run-of-the-mill ACL. And as we've seen with various athletes, and ACL, everyone is different. It can be Adrian Peterson, it could be Derrick Rose, and Chase Young a little bit longer on that scale here, and ended up making his debut this last season, week 16. Later on, only played 3 games in the 2022 campaign. And that was the whole thing. Throughout the 2022 season, it was like, this is the week that Chase Young is going to play. And then Ron Rivera was like, nah. But he didn't play until later on in the season. One of the big reasons why Washington declined his 5th-year option. And the knee is concerning, but I mean, the sky is still the limit, man. And Chase Young scouting report, this is from Lance Zierlein, NFL.com, back in 2020. NFL comparison, Julius Peppers. Perhaps you've heard of him. Also, Julius Peppers could play some basketball, man. Like him at UNC, whew, come on, man. But overview, elite size, length, and athleticism created loads of production and a vaulted pro projection, but Young's set of disruptive properties have yet to be fully weaponized. He's fairly basic as a pass rusher with just a couple of go-to moves and occasional inside counter, and yet still managed 16.5 sacks in 2019. He has the traits to overwhelm many of the tackles he faces, and it won't take long for teams to add a bull rush. It won't be long for teams to add a bull rush, a rip and run, and a step counter into his repertoire. He plays a little upright at the point of attack, and his ball awareness is below average, but those concerns aren't enough to counterbalance his range and agility as a run defender. Young possesses superior traits and the ability to wreck and alter offensive game plans as a perennial all-pro. So it's pretty high praise, man. And as we know about Kwesi, whether it's his trade of Hawkinson or Jalen Reagor or Ross Blacklock or sometimes free agent acquisitions, he likes high draft status. So he likes that pedigree where you've gone through several layers of scrutiny and he still came out on top. Distressed asset, underappreciated. Now, could be distressed for the team that he was playing on, a la TJ Hawkinson, or a player that is devalued because of injury or whatever. Chase Young certainly fits that mold. Also, low risk, high reward. I mean, Chase Young could still be an all-pro, and acquiring him, I mean, it could be relatively cheap at this stage. And if the Vikings are truly done with Danielle Hunter, perhaps a swappy swap could make some sense in this spot. And for Chase Young, reasons to trade for him more, it doesn't even have to be Danielle. I mean, the Vikings should just go out and pick up Chase Young because I don't care at this point in time. But he's 2 years removed from the ACL, so all of the precautions that Washington was going through last year, obviously you want to get him in for a physical and check out that knee and see if it's going to be a recurring issue. But if he's good to go, you got him. Also, all-pro potential. Like, game wrecking at the NFL level. You saw it in 2020, a guy that can potentially shift the way the offenses play his team. Just turned 24 years old, 24 in April. True locker room leader, as evidenced by him being voted team captain as a rookie, which is amazing. Elite pass rushing skills. And from that scouting report, he has added moves, and he does have some room for growth as well. Of course, that time away from the field certainly impacts that, but he's certainly progressed from what you saw in his last years with the Buckeyes 2019, and has become a pro's pro. Very solid against the run, so not just a guy who's out there looking for sacks, has 4-3 and 3-4 versatility. About a third of his snaps have come from the stand-up position as an outside linebacker in a three-man front, and also can rush from both sides, the left and the right. So I think that, people are sleeping on Chase Young, and it is a what have you done for me lately league. And yes, the prolonged ACL injury is certainly concerning, but I mean, Chase Young is just that dude, man. I think that he has a chance to be a perennial Pro Bowler. I think he does have all-pro potential. I love him as a leader, and I think that we're just scratching the surface on what he could be. And if the Vikings do move on from Danielle, I mean, Davenport's on a one-year deal. DJ Wanham's in a contract year. Patrick Jones II is only in year 3. And what else do you have? Right, so I think that Chase Young could come in and be the crown jewel of this Flores defense and just be the heart and soul of the Vikings pass rush, as well as adding some impetus to stopping the run. I think that he could legitimately be that guy. And if the Vikings and Kwesi are done with Danielle Hunter and Washington's open for a swap of 99s, could make some sense. But like I said, this is beyond just the idea of Danielle for Chase Young. Just trade for Chase Young. Just go get him, man. Just go get him. But your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings need to trade for Washington Commies edge rusher Chase Young. Make it happen. Make it happen, man. Give us your thoughts on our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Most worth the work. Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.